Hi, hello, hello. We have another new set coming out. As always, Magic is putting out new cards. We're always looking at them. There was these secret layer cards. I didn't look at those just because they're all alt art for existing cards, but the art is pretty cool. So if you're just kind of a fan of the aesthetics of Magic, these are worth checking out. I guess we're checking them out right now. They went really crazy with some of these, like the really cartoony ones. These are official Magic cards, but then some of these are like so beautiful too. Look at that, just enchanting. Anyways, yeah, it's crazy. A lot of these cards leaked a while ago. I think there was like 2 or 3 booster packs that somehow came into unscrupulous hands. I think we've talked about leaks before. Generally, I'm just not a fan of that happening. It's quite detrimental to the overall spoiler experience, which in turn is kind of detrimental to Magic's bottom line. And as much as I am for, rah rah, rage against the man type of things, I do kind of like WotC succeeding as a company. I like the idea that Magic can keep going for a long time. And things like this, which for really no benefit at all, you're going to see those cards eventually. You're just seeing them slightly earlier than you were supposed to. Big whoop. It apparently does cost a significant, a noteworthy drop off in sales. So, that's too bad. We didn't look at the leaks because of that. Just, I don't want to support that kind of culture. But the real previews have started now. Do full. Try not to look, so we can look at these one at a time. This is, of course, the return to Theros, the Greek and Roman mythology inspired setting. I was a big fan of the original Theros. Not a ton of cards that were like super interesting mechanically, but a lot of cards that I thought were like very fun flavorfully. As a minor Greek mythology nerd, a lot of things kind of tickled me in that regard. So I'm kind of expecting the same here. I don't think it'll be like a totally mind-blowing set. Maybe something more in line with oh my gosh, what was the set we just had? that says it all right there, I guess. Throne of Eldraine, right. Kind of standalone, mostly flavor-based, but nothing completely mind-blowing and sky-dropping in terms of the lore or in terms of mechanics. Anyways, here we have a reprint of a general utility. Exile target artifact or enchantment. Exile probably pretty relevant because I assume we're going to get god creatures again. Gods who are enchantment creatures and have indestructible. So this is probably quite useful. Right in the flavor text. Use this to kill god creatures. Hero of the Wind. Sure, that's pretty cool. So there was a mechanic all about this in original Theros, I think, called like Inspired? Inspired? Yeah. Oh, that's when it becomes untapped. For some reason I thought it was when it became targeted. Anyways, there is some mechanic that's based around getting targeted. Is there not? I don't know. Anyways, this seems fine. Commanding Presence. +2/+2 for strike. Sure. Seems alright. Card is pretty crazy. They're getting all hopped up on heroics. Here we have an enchantment creature. So indeed, those are returning. This is just a vanilla one. Stats are okay, but for the same CMC you can get like Oracle. Also an enchantment creature. No, not Oracle. Oh, the thing that acts a lot like Oracle, and it's a 3 CMC enchantment creature with, I believe, these stats. Whatever. Sure. I like the art for all the enchantment creatures. They have this kind of like celestialness to them. They're just kind of the night sky itself. I think that's really awesome. What's the flavor text here? Gold-hued apples and grain cakes. Nice. I like whenever they start citing in lore sources, like legendary books from within the lore of Magic. They always do a good job. They always make it really seem like something written in that quote-unquote time, Has that kind of ancient epic feel. Sure, this is marginally useful. The more important thing is that these stats are actually really nice. A 3-1 for 2 is going to go a long way in limited. Yeah, nice, sure. Ah, I see another big enchantment dude. Also quoting the same book. So probably if you get together all these vanilla enchantment creatures, they'll tell a story. They made a little typo when transcribing it. Uh-oh. Staggering Insight? Hey, that's pretty good, really. The lifelink is relevant. This is super relevant, because basically now they're either like blocking and you're still gaining life, or they're not blocking, you're drawing a card. Yeah, this seems alright. I don't know. Perseophia. A famous philosopher of Theros. Cool. Eidolon of Philosophy. Ooh, this is pretty cool. I wonder if this is going to be like a cycle of cheap creatures that have okay stats and then a huge late game ability. This seems really useful in limited. Because you end up on turns where you're like, I have nothing to do. Oh, wait, I can sack this guy. Draw some cards. Inevitable End. Ah, this is kind of cool. So it gets around a lot of removal protection because the controller is sacrificing it. Oh, sacrifice. Whoa, this is like a major problem that they've made a terrible transcribing error here. It's supposed to be sacrifice a creature, so that's even more interesting. You put this on the biggest guy, of course, so that they're not tempted to just sacrifice it and end the spree of killings. But then they end up, you know, slowly whittling away their army if they're unwilling to make that sacrifice. Very flavorful, very distressing in terms of gameplay. But yeah, what a mistake to transcribe as this. Yeah, pretty cool. Cool mechanics for sure. Statesian Champion. So Constellation is back. This is a mechanic from the original Theros. When enchantments come into play, you get to do something. This is the quintessential Enchantress ability. Oops. What? Okay. I don't know what I did just now. So there's a few decks that played these ones. Whenever you cast an enchantment, draw a spell, or draw that. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. There's a few, so you can get some redundancy, and then you just spam your entire deck full of cheap enchantments, and churn through your whole deck, and then something good happens. So this one seems really nice because, unlike all the other enchantresses, it also buffs itself. Yeah, I can see the potential here. I think people should at least try to make the Enchantress deck again in Modern. So you get this one, this one, this one, and now this one. And then maybe there's other things with this effect that aren't called whatever Enchantress. Seems potential. Dominable Will, sure. Flash enchantment, that's pretty cool. So again, it's like you gotta evaluate these things a little better than normal for limited and stuff because of mechanics like Constellation. Sure. Myers Grasp. Sure. Poor Lion Man. So this shows us a bit of the Theros underworld, which is, of course, a focus of this set. In the last block, what's her face? Elspeth died, and presumably is now down here in the underworld. She's probably coming back in some capacity, but don't want to get trapped in that mire of punishment. With a creative name. Memory Drain. Hey, that's not bad. Scry 2 is not bad. Maybe there'll be like Scry is evergreen now, which I think actually happened around the original Theros. It either happened in Theros or like, I know Prowess was made evergreen in Cons of Tarkir, I think. But yeah, maybe like Big Scry, because 90% of the time Scry is just Scry 1. And it's not too often that you get Big Scry, especially at common. Scry 2 isn't really big scry, but it's bigger scry. Sure. Oh, sagas are back! Yo, that's so cool! Oh man, I think sagas are super, super neat. Not just mechanically, like I think mechanically they're pretty cool. They lead to kind of these like crucial turns. You can kind of plan out what's going to happen, both players. Um, yeah, I think mechanically they're pretty cool, but flavorfully, the kind of aspects of lore they represent are amazing, and the art is just always so good on these. Look at this. The way it's still being woven, the tapestry depicting these events, that's so cool. Okay, what does this actually do? Get to snag a creature. So this is something that Red does quite often, getting control of creatures temporarily. This is kind of cool because it's still technically temporarily, but it, of course, is the 3 turns that the saga is on the field. It kind of sucks that you don't get it for the entirety of that turn. Yeah, this is cool. It's very flavorful. We don't know, or at least I personally don't know too much about the Acheron War. Probably if I read some novels or whatever, they would explain it in some more depth, but I think of it as kind of the Theros version of the Trojan War. So the gaining control of the creature is kind of like Helen going off and sparking the whole events, which in turn is because of the whole golden apple thing with oh, what's his face? Well, whatever. And then this is the actual war itself, and then this is kind of like the futility of war, you know, that in the end, everything kind of falls apart. So ideally, I think, right before you lose control of it, you try to get that creature tapped. That'd be kind of cool. And it's a big dog. It's got 3 of heads. Sure, escape. Ooh. So this is, of course, escaping from the underworlds. It escapes with a +1/+1 counter on it. That's kind of cool. So this doesn't happen unless you pay the escape cost. If you res it in any other way. Yeah, this is pretty neat. Yeah, and you can keep doing it. Like it'll come back, it'll die. You can do it again. It seems like a solid card, solid mechanic. I'm just so happy that sagas are back. What else we got? Oh, Devotion returns. Shouldn't be surprised. Devotion seems pretty well liked. So now I got to reevaluate everything again. This thing gets slightly better. So yeah, Devotion is counting the number of mana symbols in all of your permanents. Sure. Seems like it could be a big blowout, but it's kind of win-more-y. Ah, ooh, a legendary enchantment creature. Demigod. This is a brand new creature type. Only an uncommon, I guess because it's a demigod. Toughness equal to the devotion to white, so at least 2, probably higher. This is pretty nice. Enters the battlefield or die, but it's only you control. That's not so good. Neat. Demigods. I like it. I like it. So they become, I don't know, probably they'll all have like a devotion-based mechanic, which kind of aligns them with the main gods. But unlike the main gods, they don't actually like turn off entirely if they don't hit a certain amount of devotion. Like this is kind of just a requirement of the god creature type is that they don't always function to full capacity. They need to have some requirement met before they can actually just go out and fight, which I think is really cool. I think that's very flavorful and mechanically interested, and I hope they bring it back. And in the previous Theros block, it was all based on devotion. And then with Amonkhet and stuff, they kind of mixed up what it meant to be worshipping a god. So I don't know what they'll do here. Maybe devotion again. That's solid enough. Forest. Ooh, pretty. They're doing full art cosmic forests. These are the forests of the afterlife, maybe. It's cool. It's like very... it's just like the tree. It looks exactly like the real forest tree, like the mana symbol, you know, just up in there. So I guess it's kind of like a representation of the ideal of green mana, this kind of dream-like state. You know, because it's almost kind of silly, like what a coincidence. But I suppose, you know, that's like the meaning of it. Same. But these are nice. Pretty iconic. just like very much not an island. A drop of water is not an island. A skull certainly is not a swamp. A forest and a tree, at least, you know, there's a connection there. Yeah, these are good. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, alright, alright. Got a new Ashiok, a very, very interesting character. Some really crazy framing here. I don't know if this is going to be like the special frames of this set, but like lots of cards are going to have this framing. If it's something extremely special for Ashiok, kind of doubt it. Yeah, there's like a normal one too. I see, I see. So we're probably going to see some more of this kind of framing. They didn't go too crazy. They didn't change the fonts or anything. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so what does this actually do? 2/3 blue and black nightmare creature token. Whenever this creature attacks or blocks, mill to turn target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. The player exiles a card from its hand. So this is like very similar to that like nightmare beast that I see in Pauper sometimes. Denrova Horror. Is that how it's spelled? Dinrova Horror. Bounce and then discard. This is bounce and then exile. But I think it's kind of a nod. May cast up to 3 face-up cards your opponents own from exile without paying their mana cost. Cool, cool ultimate. You can get there pretty quick. Coming down at 5, I don't know, it protects itself okay. I feel like you don't really want to be on the mill plan with this guy entirely, so this milling is mostly just to try to set up this. Which is not always going to be a blowout. For an alt, it could be like extremely low impact if you've only really hit lands so far. And this, of course, is going to get the worst card from their hand, so that doesn't seem too great. But you know, if they're hellbent, you bounce their best thing. They have to exile it, then you play it. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's so hard to evaluate Planeswalkers. It's just that 5 mana. I can't see it competing in Standard with all the 3 mana guys with just as broken abilities running around. But I think there could be a home for this eventually. Maybe? Well, I don't know. It's hard to... Ooh, there's Elspeth. The sun's nemesis, of course, because she's at war with Heliod, the god that betrayed her and stabbed her. So, of course, she gets the escape ability. This is like the first time we've ever seen an activated ability on a Planeswalker. It's pretty cool. Of course, it's one that's only active in the graveyard, so it's like, I don't know, not as exciting. But yeah, still cool that they're doing it. Are these like the Planeswalker deck ones? Because the number is really high on this one for a mono white card, and it comes right before this gold card. So I think these might be the Planeswalker decks one. That's actually a pretty exciting design for the Planeswalker deck Planeswalker. Usually it's just like +1, mill a bunch, +2. If they've milled a bunch, or -3, if they've milled a bunch, do something else. Ultimate, mill 50. You know? Like this one, this is much more Planeswalker decky. It's interesting there's no ult or anything. You just gain 5 life. You only get to go down. Oh, that's cool. It only goes down. Oh, and then it pops back out. Ah, that's cool. Okay, okay, that's cool. So this is like the normal version. So if these are... Oh, this is 14. Oh, okay. So these are actually cards. They're not just Planeswalker deck cards, but they actually are in the normal set, and then these special alt ones have separate collector's numbers, which I guess is normal. Yeah, that's what they would do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, cool, cool. Okay, what else we got? New god, a new god. So there already was every permutation of gods before. I feel like this one, God, I am God, colors white and black. I'm pretty sure this exists already. It was a different guy. Oh, no, it's the same guy, sorry. Sorry, Theros. I did not remember your name. So yeah, it's the same sort of mechanic, where it doesn't become a creature until your devotion is high enough. Cool. the beginning of your end step, put a coin on another target creature. Whenever a creature with a coin counter on it dies or put it into exile, return that. Ooh, pretty cool. So normally these ones were like, this is like a pretty cool effect. It's the same sort of theme, returning things from death, preventing things from death, which I guess is the white black god's duty. It's like the boatman of the river Styx, kind of. So like this is pretty solid, but without the possibility of like the stats being really good, it's not that crazy. Whereas here, this is already an extremely strong ability on its own, which makes sense because you're paying 6 whole mana and you're not even guaranteed to get a creature. But a 6 mana enchantment that just does this seems pretty okay. The fact that it's dies or exiles is really nice. It's very hard to get around both of those. Only like shuffle and tuck type effects, bounce effects, I guess. You can bounce it, get rid of the coin counter, like flicker it or whatever, get rid of the coin counter, then kill it. You got to put in a lot of effort though. He's out there to save your guys and does a pretty good job of it. Neat, a very neat card. I don't actually think it's that strong. It's like EDH kind of strong, you know. It's where you can reasonably play 6 mana and then nothing happens, kind of strong. All that happens is your guy doesn't die. Sure. Okay, there's the other version of the Ashiok art. Sure. Oh, that's it. All right, cool. We're caught up. Will we stay caught up? We can only hope. We can only hope. But so far seems pretty neat. These art, the full art lands, pretty cool. Demigods, pretty cool. Devotion being back, pretty cool. Sagas coming back, super cool. Yeah, I have no complaints so far. Just excited to see the rest. So let's look forward to more probably on Monday. Bye-bye.